Ladies and gentlemen, my name is BrendenPlayz. This is Total Extreme Wrestling for our All Elite Wrestling say. We are in September, week number 4, and what will be, I think, 1 week away from our 1 year anniversary Dynamite special that we're going to do. We're going to put the championships on the line. I think it's either going to be 1 or 2 weeks away. I think in real life they did it in the second week, but the 1 year anniversary actually is in the first week of October, so I think we'll make that decision now. But what we'll do is we'll take a look at our storylines, we'll get a bit of a recap before we get into the episode, just to make sure that, you know, we've done enough, so we should probably execute those matches. So our main matches we're going to probably do will be Cody Rhodes versus Miro, FTR and Young Bucks. I'm not sure if we'll do a rematch on that show. Maybe we could stretch it out a little longer, but it probably wouldn't be a bad idea just to do the rematch, because we're going to do the Inner Circle versus Omega and Page finally. You know, we've been waiting to do this match for months now, so we're going to finally get the Tag Team Championship rematch, the official one, which I think will be a hell of a match. Really looking forward to that one. So I feel like this will be our best match we've had in the series. So I'm really tempted to put it as the main event, but I still want to do MJF and Jon Moxley at some point. Just because, you know, Full Gear is a little too far away to do this rematch. I'm not sure we can stretch it out for that long, but in saying that, I'm not sure what our title match would be for Full Gear if we don't do MJF and Jon Moxley. So perhaps we could do some sort of a rematch on the 1 year special, and some shenanigans happens that Jon Moxley gets screwed over, and then maybe we do the final rematch, maybe more of a no DQ match or something like that at Full Gear. Some thoughts there anyways. As well as that, maybe some women's matches. I'm not sure. You know, we could do Baker versus Sheeta, but you know, 51 storyline heat is pretty good actually for the women. That's probably as good as it's going to get, considering Sheeta had a nice match against Priscilla Kelly to boost that up. So it's probably about as good as it's going to get. So it might not be a bad idea. Might not be a bad idea rather to go for that. We could even do the women's #1 contender match as well, and then have the winner of that face either Baker or Sheeta at Full Gear. So that might be a good idea as well, and that would really give us a good solid card, and to make that episode as special as possible. So that's where we're headed. So week 4, September, I feel like, yeah, it might not be a bad idea to do it next week. We have Full Gear in week 2 of November, so we did it next week would give us 5 weeks after those events to build towards Full Gear. If we did it the week after, we'd have 1 month. So either way, it doesn't really matter. So we might do it next week anyways, so we'll start planning for that. But not too much else has been happening. We're just wanting to keep, building momentum. You know, we've signed a couple of different contracts. We've brought in the young Dudleys, so they're going to be known as TNT, Terrell and Terrence Dudley. So we got them last episode. JK has re-signed with us as well. So we had to pay $24,500 per month. The WWE didn't even want him, so we could have just got him for a lot lower of a fee. But we decided, look, you know, he is currently sitting at 58 popularity. I feel like that popularity is going to keep growing into the 60s, so it might be worth the investment anyways. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start planning to book AEW Dark. We've got a backstage incident, Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho. Surely this is positive. Oh, it's not really. Sammy Guevara was making a mess, he didn't clean it up. Wrestler's Court, okay. You know, we've been pretty lucky with our locker room rating. You know, I'm not sure what the number is, but we haven't had any issues at all, really, with our locker room. It's something that, you know, we've just struggled with, you know, for many, many different saves. Who could forget Shawn Michaels causing all those rifts with everybody and making everyone hate The Rock and things like that. So we've had a tough time. So it's nice to have a locker room that's just working. And trust me, you appreciate it once you can get it. You know, once you've been through the other side of things, you definitely appreciate it when you can get it. Okay, the results for AEW Dark. Alright, on the pre-show, I wanted to see how Ivelisse and Diamante fared together as a team. I know we probably won't be using them because one's a face, one's a heel, but I just wanted to see, because they're teaming up at the moment, they're against each other in this storyline, so we figured we'll have them team up as a bit of an odd couple pairing. This was on the pre-show anyways, but Diamante 33, Ivelisse 38, so no chemistry between the two. They defeated Red Velvet and Leva Bates. So it did advance the storyline, which is a little surprising because it is a pre-show segment, but I guess it still does count. 33 overall. TNT made their debut, so that's the Terrence and Terrell Dudley. They took on Alex Reynolds and John Silver. Yep, first time ever that Dark Order's Reynolds and Silver pick up a win. They defeated TNT. The two Dudleys were 16 and 17. Don't expect great performances out of them. They're just, a couple of bodies, new young guys. You never know. They might develop into something, but for now, we just, got them on the roster just to help put over some of the other teams. And someone like Reynolds and Silver, they are usually our designated job guys, so it's good for them to pick up a win and at least make them look somewhat as a threat. When we can do it, we definitely will. But the Dudleys, they both got adequate for their new gimmicks. Ricky Starks took on Michael Nakazawa. So we had this match on Dynamite recently, and it was an absolute stinker. So this time we put on the pre-show of Dark, Starks 36, Nakazawa 25. They delivered a 34 rated match, so that's much better, much more promising out of Ricky Starks, so that gives me a bit more hope that he'll amount to something. I do have big hopes for Ricky Starks. I think he's a tremendous talent. I see a bright future for him. So 36 he performed at, that's pretty good. He picked up the win over Nakazawa. Alright, so we actually opened up the show with a promo from the Nightmare family. They demanded respect out of Eddie Kingston, and they have promised to defeat Eddie Kingston's family. 48 rated segment, so we actually took a bit of a risk, and we put Pillman and QT Marshall on the microphone as well as Dustin Rhodes, and it actually worked out pretty well. I did forget to script everybody, but still looked like it, worked out okay. Dustin Rhodes and QT and Pillman all did pretty well without the scripts. So sometimes, you just gotta let it happen, and it worked out pretty well. 48 rated segment from, the Nightmare family side of things, I think is pretty good considering they've, much lower on the popularity side of things. It's pretty good in the end. It's good to get Pillman and QT in a segment like that. It has good chances of maybe improving them. Mr. Brody Lee defeated Griff Garrison for a 34 rated match. Just had a squash match over Griff. Lee 55, Griff 23. I haven't been doing a lot with Brody Lee, and I really don't know where to put him, I suppose, at the moment. He's in that tricky position where he's one of our bigger guys. Do we want him to lose? Probably not. But do we have any baby faces that he could beat? Probably not. So, just a squash match for him. We did give him a promo afterwards. The entire Dark Order came out and cut a promo. I had, I think, Evil Uno, maybe John Silver, and maybe Stu Grayson all get on the mic and talk as well as Brody Lee. 28 rated, so not great, but I figured it was a good chance just to, hype up the Dark Order a little bit and give them something to do and get them all on the card as well. Best Friends took on and defeated our new team Top Flight for 42. Chuck and Trent 46 each. Dante and Darius 27 and 28. Not a bad match actually. So once again, Top Flight, one of our new teams, will be added into the mix to probably put over some of our more established teams. But good opportunity for them to get on the show and continue to build up their popularity. Butcher and Blade took down Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy backstage for the beatdown. So we had this segment run a little bit too long by the looks of it. 4 minutes was this segment, so maybe we should have been looking at maybe 2 or 3. It got 32 rated in the end, which actually isn't bad for this storyline at the moment. It isn't really clicking this storyline yet, so we've got to continue working on it. And we thought Butcher and Blade ambushing Private Party backstage would be a good idea. Not too bad, not quite 100% what we're looking for. We finally decided to turn Brandon Cutler, Peter Avalon, and Leva Bates, make them all baby faces. I'm pretty sure this will happen. Peter Avalon to turn, it was a success, and Leva Bates to turn was a success as well. So what we did is Brandon Cutler, he convinced Peter Avalon and Lever Bates to make the initiative his primary focus. So Peter Avalon, you know what he's like, you know, oh, I can be a big star, I still have the potential to be a single, I've got a lot of big things going on in my life at the moment. It's all a lie, it's all BS. And eventually, he gives in, he wants to join up and make the initiative the real deal. So they're all babyfaces now, so there'll be another babyface lower tag team for us, but, at least they've got something to do, because otherwise I wouldn't have a clue what to do with these guys at all. So they are now babyfaces. Matt Sydal defeated Kip Sabian, and for some reason, Terrell Dudley was set to be a road agent. I have no idea why that is. That is something we have to fix ASAP. I don't know why the game would set him to be a road agent. I think maybe they got him confused with the other Dudley, their dad. But Matt Sydal 46, Kip Sabian 37. Yeah, I think that probably hurt the match a lot. We gave Matt Sydal the win. So I'm pretty sure Matt Sydal has been given a full-time contract now with AEW. So we're going to look to start using him a little bit more. So far, a 46 there, that's pretty good. So that's not too bad. I was going to say he hasn't been so great so far, but he's certainly been better than Matt Cardona. So definitely look to keep Sydal on the books and kind of push him along, whereas Cardona, we can probably get rid of him. Main event was Sammy Guevara versus Christopher Daniels for a 57. These two have great chemistry. Well, there's a potential feud right there for Sammy, who's not quite doing a lot right now, and neither is Daniels, so maybe these two could have a bit of a short-term feud just to capitalize on this chemistry they have. But Sammy 64, Daniels 50, both really killing it there. That kind of saves what has been a pretty lousy episode of Dark. 41 overall for the show. Alright, Dynamite, let's have a look at the results. Shawn Spears and Michael Nakazawa in the pre-show for 27. Spears picked up the win in a quick match, 40 by Spears, 28 from Nakazawa. We did try and just get a wild brawl out of the way on this one, so we had a wild brawl here, quick match. We're trying to turn Shawn Spears' momentum around. He still has a pretty cold momentum, so I feel like if we can get it back to neutral, he has a chance of maybe gaining popularity, but at the moment he just continues to lose it, so we're giving Shawn Spears one last chance. And Helico and Matt Sydal had a 39 rated match. They just had no chemistry in the end, so this is a pre-show match. I wanted to try again get a steal the show out of the way off the card, but I'm trying to look at Matt Sydal and get a bit of a gauge of where his performances are at. He's got some decent popularity, so I'm trying to figure out, okay, is it worth really investing time into him? Just no chemistry in this one, so I'll give this one a miss, but we gave Matt Sydal the win, and 39 rated match, considering no chemistry, and that's above what their performances were. That's not too bad. Scorpio Sky defeated Sunny Kiss as well in the pre-show. Scorpio 44, Sunny Kiss 32, 42 rated match. Scorpio struggling a little bit with momentum again as well, and SCU as a whole is kind of a little bit down. We saw in Dark how Sammy Guevara and Daniels have got good chemistry, so that's a potential feud down the line. Certainly maybe Inner Circle versus SCU, maybe at least half of Inner Circle, maybe the lower half of it, so that opens up an opportunity there. So I'm trying to get SCU back in the positive side of things again. Okay, well, speaking of Inner Circle, we open up the show with Proud and Powerful taking on Adam Page and Kenny Omega. First time Adam Page and Omega have teamed up in a while. I figured it's only right that they had one tag match before they get to their big championship rematch, and we had a 76 rated match. Kenny Omega 83, Adam Page 70, Santana 57, Ortiz 62. Awesome stuff. Page and Omega have great chemistry together. Santana and Ortiz obviously do very, very well together as well. We gave Adam Page and Omega the win, of course. It was nearly a 20-minute match in the end. So Omega was the best in the match, but it gave us a really good start to the show. Very, very positive, and I figured it was good to start Dynamite with a really good match. We've been doing, segments for a while, and we're still going to do a segment, but good to start with a match for a while, for the first time in a little bit. Kenny Omega debuted a spectacular new high spot that showcased his aerial ability. His psychology will be helped by being able to use it as a go-to spot in the future. Well, there you go. That is awesome news. Here's the segment. So we did a little bit of a contract signing for this one. We had Guevara and Jake Hager out there with Chris Jericho. So they signed the contract for the upcoming title match, and the whole time Chris Jericho was just questioning Kenny Omega's loyalty to Hangman Adam Page. So we had Page, Omega, and Jericho all speaking in this segment, and Adam Page struggled to go off script, whereas the others did okay with it. We had a 90 rated segment in the end, so that is really, really good, and that is a great way just to get this storyline heat over that little hurdle. Yeah, I think it dropped back under 80, so hopefully this could get it back into the 80s again and really set up for a big match next week. Lance Archer had a 60 rated match with Matt Cardona. Nothing special about this match. We didn't go with, anything. We just had a 13-minute match, and Lance Archer pulled out a 58 rated performance. Matt Cardona a 45. Well, we haven't given Lance a lot of great opponents, to be fair to him. I think he has struggled in that regard where, he hasn't got we don't have a great mid-card, so there's not a lot of guys that Lance can really work with where he'll get a good match. This was one. Matt Cardona did pretty well, 45. We gave Lance the win, and that is exactly what I want to see out of Lance Archer, 58. That is fantastic. I struggle to get Lance, Brian Cage, and Brody Lee. I'm struggling to get them over because they don't have good opponents. So this is a good sign that maybe we can start to make something happen with Lance. Will Hobbs and Matt Hardy had a promo hyping up their upcoming match. We're going to do those two teaming up to take on Starks and Brian Cage. This helped the Hobbs and Stark storyline, not so much the Hardy and Cage storyline. We had, I'm pretty sure we had Will Hobbs. Yeah, we did. We had him talk as well as Matt Hardy. So, I'm at this point where I want the newcomers, the guys who may not be that strong in the mic, I want to keep them talking. I want to get them promoing to try and improve their skills, because that's the only way it's going to get better. As for the match, it was 59 rated. Matt Hardy 60, Will Hobbs 41, Ricky Starks 35, Brian Cage 59. Will Hobbs and Matt Hardy have excellent chemistry teaming together. Well, there you go. Potential new tag team, I suppose. That is great news. We advanced both those storylines again. We gave the win to Hobbs and Hardy when Starks and Brian Cage had a bit of miscommunication. Cage accidentally hit Starks, which caused Matt Hardy to hit the twist of fate and pick up the win. So most likely we're going to have Cage beat Hardy, and Starks probably, I don't know if Starks will beat Will Hobbs in the end, but I'm sure that Cage will beat Hardy. So this is a way to have Hardy beat Brian Cage without technically beating him and kind of advance the story in that way. So yeah, Team Taz suffering a bit of a loss there. 59 rated match though, pretty good. Next segment, wow, 85. Well, we had Miro and Cody in the ring. Last week we had Miro grab the title, Cody's championship, and kind of, show us signs that, maybe this isn't just a friendly competition. This week, Miro and Cody, they had a bit of an argument, a bit of a disagreement about their past. So we kind of, were thinking about maybe, a bit of a storyline where, Cody Rhodes, he left the WWE and he wanted to make a statement, he wanted to prove a point. But, Miro kind of says, well, you should have tried to prove that point whilst you were there. You should have tried to help guys like me, who was new at the time, instead of quitting and bailing. So something a little bit different and giving us a bit of a direction to the storyline. I suppose it's a little bit similar to the Moxley and Eddie Kingston storyline we saw in real life, but a different little spin on it. But at 85, so that is an excellent segment. And we were struggling with the storyline heat for this one, and that is all about the change. 85 is fantastic. So we're going to have a big match. Cody and Miro is going to be a really good one. I'm not sure if it's ready to be done yet, though. Do we go with it next week? I think it's a bit too soon. Nyla Rose took on Chris Statlander for 41. Statlander 41, Nyla 38. So Statlander outperforming Rose. That's interesting. We gave Nyla a little win after Vicky Guerrero got herself involved and caused some interference to allow Nyla to pick up the win. So obviously this is 2 women involved in our #1 contender storyline. It gained us heat in that storyline, which is great. And obviously if we're going to do this #1 contenders match next week, it only makes sense to have some of the women compete against each other to advance the story. Britt Baker cut a promo giving us 10 reasons why she's better than Hikaru Shida for 44. So the storyline hit was 51, now potentially dropping down a little bit after this promo, but still 44 promo is pretty good. I'll take that. That's not bad. Eddie Kingston took on Joey Janella for a 54 rated match. It was a hardcore match, actually, so no better way to get some hardcore crappy wrestling out there than Joey Janella, the master of it. Eddie Kingston, well, he's made a name of doing it himself. So Kingston 56, Janella 49. And we advanced the Nightmare Family and Family storyline by having this match as a way that Eddie Kingston can really prove that, he's the real deal. This is a way that Eddie Kingston, the Nightmare Family are trying to prove that, they deserve respect. Well, this is Eddie Kingston's way of saying, hey, you better not mess with me and my family, because this is what's going to happen if you do. So 54, good match. I've got to give it to Joey. Not bad. Eddie Kingston, obviously if you give him hardcore stuff, he's going to deliver. FTR, we're with Tully Blanchard. And Tully was basically saying, look guys, the Bucks aren't going to go away. If you want to prove that you're the best, I think you're going to have to beat them again. So a 57 rated segment. So Tully intervening here and trying to convince them that, this might be the right way to go about it. So 57. So again, a talking segment with FTR not quite delivering. The Young Bucks aren't doing any better at that either. So we might just need to really keep this one in the ring because the promos aren't quite delivering. And our main event was Jon Moxley teaming up with Darby Allin to take on MJF and Wardlow. And we didn't quite get the result that we were hopefully looking for. A 69 rated. I was hoping it would get 70 plus. Darby 60, Moxley 79, Wardlow 44, and MJF 73. Moxley pinned Wardlow with a quick roll up to get the win in the end. So Wardlow was the weak link. MJF 73 held up his end of the bargain. Moxley 79, but just, to be fair, Darby Allin was really good, 60. Just Wardlow doesn't quite have the popularity or the skills just yet. 69 is still not bad, but obviously he's going to bring the storyline down for Moxley and MJF, which is not ideal considering, their title match. I think, as I said earlier on, we might delay that till Full Gear, but we'll probably do something with them on next week. So probably the rematch, but it won't be our, end-all be-all match, I suppose. We did, though, have a 68 rated show. I was hoping we could crack 70. I thought with our opening match, and we had some really good talking promos there, the contract signing, the Cody and Miro segment was excellent. We even had a decent match. 2 decent matches in there as well, Kingston, Janella, Hobbs, and Hardy. And the main event, I thought this was the week that we're going to do it. But 68, close, but not close enough. Alright, let's look at the ratings report. We'll look at some other things first. Chris Hero is injured, he broke his tailbone. Rhea Ripley defeated Charlotte, who was apparently NXT Women's Champion, so Rhea Ripley is now Women's Champion. NXT, 2.06 TV rating, 1.55 million viewers. Finn Balor beat Adam Cole to retain the NXT title. Ripley beat Charlotte Flair to win the women's title, so they went all out this episode. They had a 73 rated show. Yeah, okay, well, that's only going to mean that our show probably suffered a lot. We had 738,000 viewers. Yeah, we did. Look, we did 68. It was a good show, just not quite good enough. We need to start getting a few more matches into the 70s if we're going to really make a bit of a splash, unfortunately. But yeah, so that's the ratings results there. Obviously we had a couple of good segments, so let's take a look and see if we were able to capitalize on that. So first up, we'll look at Cody. He's at 66 popularity. He's done it. Cody finally gaining popularity. It's about time. I can tell you that now. It is about time. Miro, 61 in a couple of areas, so he's growing, which is great. Good news. He started at 59. He's already at 60, so he's growing a little bit. Week by week, he is on the improve, which is great to see. A couple other little things, let's have a look. Hangman Adam Page, 63 popularity now, so he is growing and growing, which is fantastic. Kenny, wow, hit 70 in one area, 69 in the rest. So Kenny is very close to being a major star for us. He is right there. So if he does turn heel, obviously MJF's got the belt at the moment, so that won't quite work, but you know, Moxley and Kenny would be huge. Yeah, so that is going to be great. But Adam Page is not far away, 63 as well, so let's not discount him at all. Sammy Guevara, 55 popularity. It's just unbelievable. His popularity, it just explodes every week. 55 now. Think about it. You know, he started in the low 40s. It's incredible. Santana's got 48, 46, 47. That's pretty good as well. Jake Hager, 58, 59. He's almost in the 60s. Considering we've done absolutely nothing with him other than have him stand there, it is just ludicrous that his popularity has gotten that big as well. Goes to show the power of, of what a good promo can do. Will Hobbs, still no real gain from him, even though he picked up a big win this week. Still sitting at 29 in the Southeast, 14 everywhere else. A little bit disappointing. You would have hoped to see him start to make some progress. He's got neutral momentum, so that could be a reason. Maybe a few more wins for him might help. Ricky Stark has bad momentum, so that's not good. 25 pop currently in the Southeast. So we need to make something work there. I'm not sure why he's got bad momentum. I suppose he's had a few losses, but 5 out of 11. So yeah, need to get Ricky a few more wins just to advance his popularity. And last but not least, Sheeta, no movement, and Britt Baker, 35 as well, no real movement. Chris Jericho, he's 83, 84 as well, which is insane. Okay, it's a brand new month for us. Now we're into the month of October, which of course means, well, it's time to see how bad our finance was this month. 891,000 in the red. And it wasn't even our worker increase. We only increased our our budget on the workers by 17,000, and overall about 80,000 since the start. So it hasn't been that. It's just let's have a look. We paid more in media expense, which is, I'm not sure what that would have been. Just 75,000 per show. And what else? It's just been that. I suppose our broadcast revenue was down a little bit. Ticket sales are there. And of course, we didn't have a pay-per-view. So that's going to be the main reason. We didn't have a pay-per-view, which could have given us 250,000, maybe up to 300,000. So that's a huge loss, and that's one of the things that we're going to suffer again in October. We're not going to have another pay-per-view again. So we are struggling a little bit. We need to get some money. And without house shows, without anything like that, we need something. Let's take a look at the merchandise. We talked about it last episode. Let's have a quick little look and see how the merch numbers did for this month. So Chris Jericho sold 53,000. John Moxley 26, Omega 16, Rhodes 12, Hangman 5.5, Young Bucks about 4.5 to 5, Hardy 4, Miro around 4, but that's not bad for his first run. MJF 1,800, and that's really all that we need to worry about. So yeah, Jericho's numbers increased, that's for sure. I think we're currently at 3% for our upgrade. I think it's probably not a bad idea to invest a little bit more on that. It would cost $1,000 per week, and that would give us 2% of progress. So I might start trying to do that. and increase it by a little bit. So 2% a week for $1,000 is probably worth it, considering we might gain a lot more money out of it. And obviously, the more fans we've got at our shows, the more likely we're going to gain more out of it as well. So we're still only at 500 capacity, and I think that's going to be true. I think maybe Full Gear we could open up to 1,000, but I don't think we should open up to any more just yet, to try and keep it realistic. I would love to do house shows. I'd love to do more, because that's where, that's the reason why we're down so much. And if our ticket sales, we're getting 48,000, we're getting about $12,000 per 500 people. So you think about it, if we were getting, 5,000 people per Dynamite, that's 20,000 people a month. That's not bad. Like, we could make a couple $100,000 there, plus a big crowd for our pay-per-view. So we might turn that around from $891 to maybe $500,000 in the red. So maybe $200,000 to $400,000 in ticket sales we could have gotten just by having fans. And obviously, if we did house shows, that'd be even more money we'd be getting. And then, if we can continue to increase our pay-per-view revenue, we'd be pretty close to being in the green, I reckon. I don't think we would be there, but we wouldn't be too far away. So, unfortunately, that's just the way it is. Tony Khan still rates us as average, so we're not going to get fired yet. And even if we do get close, I'll fix it up so we don't, because I don't want to get fired. I want to keep going. But of course, one of our owner goals was not to fall into debt at any point. And if we're losing $890,000 a month, we will fall into debt at some point. So we need to figure it out. Not sure what the solution is. Do we try and squeeze in another pay-per-view? Because again, we're going to have this problem in January as well as December. So, I know they don't do a lot of pay-per-views in real life, but we might have to do something. Otherwise, this company will go under. So we've got to try and make our own little changes here to keep this company afloat, because we can't afford not to get that $250,000 a month, because you can see that has really impacted our overall result. So we are in a small financial crisis that could become a big one very, very soon. Well, next time we come your way, we will have our big Dynamite special, where we will go and have Jon Moxley, MJF as that rematch. We definitely need some promos before we get there to try and boost that storyline heat back up. And of course, the big one, I feel, is going to be Jericho and Guevara versus Page and Omega. I feel like that's going to be the match of the year for us so far. I don't think we'll do Cody and Miro just yet. I feel like we're just starting to gain something out of this, so kind of going for it would be a little bit too soon. And FTR and the Young Bucks, well, it might not be a bad idea just to go with it, and then maybe we do the third and final at Full Gear, or yeah, I'll have to think about it. Or maybe we just, go with it and then decide to do the winner of that one faces Jericho and Guevara at Full Gear instead, which I think was the original idea. So we might do that. And we'll do the women's number one contender match as well, and then we'll do probably Britt Baker and Hikaru Shida for the championship as well. So there's a few matches there that will probably make this show, I think, probably one of our best. We definitely need to get there. Our best Dynamite is a 72. We've done a 71 as well before. So the 68 that we just did was definitely one of our best, top 4. So we need to try and get another 70. That's the goal. And I think we can do it with 2 really good matches lined up for next week. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we have time for this edition. Hopefully you'll join us for the next one, where we have our big 1-year special. It's going to be good, I'm hoping. Thank you for watching. Leave a like on it and subscribe to see more if you haven't already. Tell a friend. Let them know if they like TW, if they like AEW, maybe they'll like this series. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.